Hey everyone, I want to show you a very cool feature of the codefly CLI that I'm using to develop. And this is generalized hot reloading. So front-end developers are very familiar with hot reloading. And this is just a simple concept that if you make a change, you want the change to be applied right away. No need to go in the command line to rerun things, etc., etc. So codefly with agents enables you to do that in a very generic way. So I'm going to show you a very quick demo how we can do that with database migration files, with Go application that are fast enough to reload, with gRPC schemas, and all these contribute to let you focus on your code and gain a lot of productivity. So let's jump right into the example. So we have codefly running with a Go backend with gRPC and the database. And we have an API endpoint to create a user from authentication and retrieve the user. So let's look at the database. You see that we have these fields. So let's create the user. We use a create self endpoint. The metadata is where all this stuff, all this information is going to come from. This is given automatically if you use a gateway from codefly. So let's use sent. We have the new user. We can get self to get the user. We can check that the data is in the database. So I'm not making stuff up. Now we want to add the given name in this table. So the first thing we will do is to change the migration file, right? So let's add the given name. And you see that I save the file and it's being applied by codefly automatically. So the agent is looking for migration files and applying it when it needs to. So if I go back to the table, we can see that the change has been applied. We have the new field. So now we can go and change our Go as well. So let's change the proto. We want to add this new field. So let's add a string for the given name for the user. I'm going to save and see, you see that the change has been directed to the proto and the code for gRPC will be generated, rebuild the binary, etc. And we should be good to go. So now let's go and change the RPC. So now let's actually add the given name. Given name, that sounds looks good. Let's deal with the case where we don't get the username. And now we can add that as well to the user. The ID doesn't recognize because the profile has been updated, but you see that it's compiling correctly. So we can change the Postgres by adding the given name. I'm doing it quickly to save time. I make the changes, restart the code, successful on it, which is good. Now we have the gRPC server that has been restarted. Now we are ready to test it. So let's go back to Creya. Let's update because we use automatic detection of the gRPC. And now we can create again the user. We have the given name. And if we get self, we get the given name. So in about like 1 minute without even touching the CLI, I change a migration file for database. I made changes to a protobuf schema for gRPC. The code was regenerated, rerun a few times, and I just got my feature. I think that's pretty cool, and I hope you'll be curious to see a lot more that codefly can do for your productivity.